The glass walls make everything feel public, like my shame has a seating chart. My fingers pinch the folder so hard the paper bites back. Fraud review. Black ink, big letters, a verdict pretending to be a label. Across the table, Victor's smile doesn't move his eyes. It's the kind of smile that says he's already rehearsed my collapse. Celeste slides the prenup toward me. The pages whisper. I skim, and my pulse stutters. One clause tucked under family protections that would strip Milo down to nothing. No safety, no future, just erased. Adrian leans close, breath warm and desperate. Just sign it, please. The floor inside me drops. He knew. Then the door opens. Silence snaps tight. A stranger steps in, calm as a judge, and says my full name like it belongs in a file. She's the one who saved our company last year. My throat doesn't loosen. My face doesn't soften. I flip my folder open, slow, precise, and the sound lands heavier than any shout. I look at them. All of them. Now it's my turn to ask questions. My name is Lena, late 20s, the kind of age where people still call you young while they hand you bills and expectations like bricks. Milo is 6. He has a gap between his front teeth and a laugh that explodes out of him like he's never heard a reason to hold it back. When he sleeps, his palm opens and closes like he's still trying to keep hold of me. I let him. I always let him. I rebuilt after my ex the way you rebuild after a fire, carefully, suspicious of every warm thing. He didn't hit me. He didn't have to. He took numbers. He took signatures. He took my name off accounts and put his on. He smiled while he did it. That kind of betrayal doesn't leave bruises. It leaves you checking your bank app the way other people check locks. Adrian Hale didn't feel like that. Adrian is quiet money. Old money. The kind that doesn't clink, it hums. He holds doors. He remembers Milo's favorite dinosaur. He says he wants a small life, not the family empire. Says it like he's choosing fresh air over a sealed room. When he looks at me, I almost forget what it's like to brace for impact. Almost. Because the Hales look at me like I'm a puzzle piece from the wrong box. A pretty problem. A woman with a kid and no pedigree. I feel it in their halls, too bright, too polished, too cold, where every framed photo watches me pass like it's taking notes. I feel it at dinner, in the pause after my name, in the smiles that stop at their teeth. And I'm not after their money, but I am hiding my real life. Not because I'm ashamed, because I learned what people do when they think that they found your soft spot. They press, they pry, they test. So if you've ever been measured like a price tag, comment, I know my worth. And stay to the end, because their trap backfires hard. I used to think love was a soft place. Then I married a man who turned it into paperwork. It didn't happen in a single dramatic blow. It was slow, a drip, a daily quiet theft. He'd handle the bills because I was stressed, he'd say, rubbing my shoulders like he was smoothing down my life. He'd tell me, "You're so good at the kid stuff, let me do the adult stuff." And I, tired, postpartum, trying to keep a tiny human alive, let him. The first time I noticed, I was standing in the kitchen with Milo on my hip, his cheek hot against my collarbone, his little fingers clenching and unclenching my shirt like he was kneading me into safety. I opened the banking app and blinked at the number like it had to be wrong. My savings had shifted. Not vanished. Not yet. Just thinner, like something had been scooped out carefully so I wouldn't notice the shape changing. My throat tightened. I remember the smell of warm formula and dish soap. I remember the hum of the fridge. I remember the way my heart started moving too fast for my body to keep up. When I asked, he laughed. Not a big laugh. A small one. One that made me feel childish for looking. "Babe, calm down. Transfers, investments, you wouldn't get it." He said it with that smile, the one that made his friends think he was charming, and made me feel like I was always 2 steps behind in a conversation I was supposed to be winning. I started writing things down after that. Not because I was brave, because I was scared. I kept a notebook in the bottom drawer under the dish towels where my hands would shake as I slid it out. Dates, amounts, his excuses, his tone, the way he'd kiss my forehead afterward like affection could erase a lie. Patterns, not promises. Promises were easy. Patterns were a map. The day the credit score alert popped up on my phone, I almost dropped it. My fingers went numb. My ears rang like someone had slapped the inside of my head. A new card in my name. Maxed. A loan application. Approved. My name, used like a tool. I remember sitting on the edge of the bathtub with the door locked because I didn't want Milo seeing my face. My stomach churned so hard it felt like my organs were trying to climb out. I pressed my forearm to my mouth and bit down until the taste of metal flooded my tongue. Out in the living room, my ex was laughing at a show, relaxed, unbothered, as if he hadn't just set fire to the floor beneath me. That's the part people don't understand. It's not just money. It's not just things. It's the moment you realize someone you trusted has been watching you drown and calling it floating. I left with a diaper bag and a trash bag of clothes and a folder of photocopied statements. I left like a thief in my own life. Milo was asleep in his car seat, mouth open, lashes resting on his cheeks like he was innocent on purpose. My hands were so sweaty on the steering wheel, I had to wipe them on my jeans at every red light. I didn't cry until I hit the highway. It came out like something ripped. One ugly sound after another. My chest spasming, my vision going watery. I remember whispering, I'm sorry, even though I didn't know who I was apologizing to. Milo, myself, the version of me that believed in soft places. After that, I learned. Not overnight, not neatly. I learned to keep screenshots, to forward emails, to take photos of mail before it disappeared. I learned to assume someone would lie, and to build my life like I would need proof. And I learned the hardest lesson. The people who do the most damage often do it while sounding reasonable. So when I say I rebuilt, I don't mean I got a glow up in a new playlist and a cute apartment. I mean I learned how to breathe again without asking permission. Now my life looks small to people like the Hales. On purpose. A 2-bedroom apartment where the hallway smells like someone's curry and someone else's laundry detergent. Milo's shoes in a crooked line by the door. A scuffed coffee table with crayon marks that won't come out no matter how much I scrub. A calendar on the fridge, color-coded like my sanity depends on it. Because it does. I tell people I do admin work, scheduling, email, data entry, boring, safe. No one leans in when you say boring. No one starts calculating what they can take. Boring is camouflage. Boring is a locked door that looks like a wall. I live modestly. I buy Milo sneakers on sale and cut my own hair in the bathroom mirror, lips pressed tight while I try not to make it uneven. I keep my circle small, 2 friends I trust, my sister who calls me every Sunday to make sure I'm eating something other than toast, and a babysitter who knows Milo's inhaler routine like it's sacred. Stability is my religion now. And then there was that rainy day. The kind of rain that doesn't just fall. It insists. It taps on the windows like it's impatient. It soaks your socks through the seams and turns the world into a blur of gray. Milo had been wheezing all night. Not the dramatic kind, worse. The quiet kind that makes your skin crawl because it feels like listening for a storm you can't see. By morning, the inhaler was almost empty. I stood at the pharmacy counter with my card in my hand and my stomach in my throat, listening to the tech explain that the refill needed approval, that it might take time, that maybe I could wait, that maybe... My hands started shaking. The fluorescent lights buzzed above us. Milo leaned against my hip, too quiet, too still, his small chest rising a little too fast. The sound of it, thin, strained, made something feral wake up inside me. I remember the taste of panic. It tastes like pennies and heat. I was about to beg, when someone behind me stepped forward. A man's voice, low, steady, not loud, not performative. Just there. Put it on mine. I turned, ready to snap, ready to bite. And I saw Adrian. He looked like a person who didn't know what it felt like to be denied. Not in an arrogant way. In a quiet, unfamiliar way. Like his life had been built on yeses. He wore a coat that probably cost more than my month of groceries. But it wasn't flashy. It was just... good. Like him. He glanced at Milo first. Not at me. Not at my tired face or my wet hair or my cheap shoes. At Milo. His eyes softened, and it didn't feel like pity. It felt like recognition. Like he saw a child struggling and reacted the way you're supposed to react. Does he need it now? He asked the tech. Yes, I said, voice sharper than I meant. He does. Adrian nodded once, like that was all he needed. He tapped his card. The machine beeped, the receipt printed. My throat tightened in that humiliating way it does when kindness hits you somewhere bruised. I'll pay you back, I blurted, digging through my bag like I could pull dignity out of the bottom of it. He shook his head, small and calm. No. The word was gentle but firm, like a boundary. I'm not, I started. I'm not asking for... I know, he said, I can tell. Something in my chest shifted, a tiny, dangerous thing. Hope, maybe. Or the memory of it. He didn't flirt. He didn't do that thing men do, where help comes with a hook. He didn't glance at my ring finger or my body like he was scanning inventory. He just helped. When Milo took the first puff and his shoulders dropped a fraction, I felt my own lungs unclench. My knees almost went weak with relief. Adrian stepped back like he didn't want to crowd us. "He okay?" "Yeah," I whispered. "He will be. Thank you." He looked at me then. Really looked. Rainwater slid down my jawline. My mascara wasn't even on. I'd stopped wearing it most days because crying without it is simpler, but I still felt exposed. Like he could see the whole messy history in my posture. "I'm Adrian," he said. "Lena." "Milo," I added, stroking my son's hair. Adrian offered Milo a small smile. Milo stared at him for a second, then leaned into my side again, suspicious like he'd inherited my instincts. Adrian didn't push, he just nodded, like Milo's caution was normal, like it was respected. We ran into each other again the next week, same pharmacy, different day. Milo was bouncing this time, asking for a lollipop, the crisis forgotten the way kids forget storms. Adrian remembered his name. That shouldn't matter, it's such a small thing. But it did, because small things are where truth hides. We started with coffee, daytime, public, safe. I kept my guard up like a shield strapped to my ribs. Adrian didn't try to pry it off, he just stood near it, patient. He asked about Milo's school, like it mattered. He listened when I answered, he didn't interrupt, he didn't one-up. He didn't turn my story into a stepping stone to his. When Milo spilled juice on the table, Adrian didn't flinch. He grabbed napkins and helped clean it up. Like mess was part of living, not proof of failure. He showed up again and again. Not grand gestures, not speeches, consistency. The first time he offered to pick Milo up from school because my babysitter canceled last minute, my skin went cold with instinctive fear. My mind replayed old scenes. Trust offered, then used as leverage. Adrian waited while I hesitated, and he didn't get offended. He didn't guilt me. He said, "If you're not comfortable, that's okay. I just don't want you scrambling." Something in me loosened. I gave him the school's number. I called the front office myself. I triple-checked his ID. I felt ridiculous and terrified at the same time. And then, at 3:15, Adrian sent a photo of Milo holding his backpack like a trophy, grinning. No caption, just proof. My eyes burned, my throat closed up. Patterns, not promises. Adrian's pattern was solid. Quiet dinners at my place, where he'd sit on the floor with Milo and build dinosaurs out of blocks. Adrian's knees too long for the space, his sleeves rolled up, his watch face catching the light as he listened to Milo explain very seriously that a T-Rex would absolutely beat a robot in a fight. Adrian would nod like Milo was presenting a thesis. He'd wash dishes without acting like he deserved a medal. He'd ask before he hugged me. Always ask. Sometimes he'd just stand at my window looking out at the streetlights and say, "It's peaceful here." And I'd think, "You have no idea what peace costs." I didn't ask much about his family at first. The little bits that slipped out sounded heavy. A mother who hosted charity galas like they were religious ceremonies. An uncle who ran the company numbers. A sister with a camera always ready. Old money people, people who can afford to be cruel politely. The first time I met Celeste Hale, it was at a fundraiser Adrian insisted was low-key. It wasn't low-key. The room glittered with glassware and perfume and laughter that felt curated. I felt my dress tugging at my skin. Too simple, like I'd shown up to a costume party in my own life. Celeste approached like she owned the air around her. She was beautiful in the way some knives are beautiful, sleek, shining, meant for cutting. "Lena," she said, and my name sounded foreign in her mouth. Her handshake was cool, her smile perfect, her eyes assessing. She crouched slightly to Milo's height. "And this must be Milo. How—" "Darling." Milo pressed closer to my leg. I felt the heat of him through my dress. I felt my body angle subtly to block, the way it always does. Celeste stood and turned her attention back to me. "Adrian tells me you work in administration." The pause before the word was small, but I heard it, like she'd had to reach down to pick it up. "Yes," I said. "And before that?" she asked, still smiling. My mouth went dry. "Before that, I was married." Celeste's expression didn't change, but something sharpened behind it. And what do you bring to the legacy, Lena?" Legacy. The word landed like a weight on my tongue. It wasn't a question the way normal people ask questions. It was a probe, a scalpel sliding under my skin to see what I was made of. Adrian's hand found the small of my back. Gentle pressure, support, or a warning. I couldn't tell. "I bring myself," I said, and my voice sounded steadier than I felt. "And I bring a child who deserves stability." and I bring honesty. Celeste's smile widened, but her eyes stayed cold. How refreshing. I wanted to laugh. It bubbled up, bitter and hot. Refreshing, like I was a glass of water she could sip and set down. Victor joined us then, a man in a suit that fit like armor. His gaze flicked over me the way you might glance at a receipt, looking for errors, totals, hidden fees. So you're the girlfriend, he said, like it was a role someone had cast me in. I felt Adrian tense beside me. Victor's eyes darted to Milo. And you come with attachments. My jaw clenched so hard my molars ached. Celeste chuckled lightly like Victor had made a harmless joke. Talia, Adrian's sister, appeared at Celeste's elbow with a phone already angled, already capturing. Oh my God, Talia said, voice sugary. You're even prettier in real life. Adrian, you never told me she was like naturally gorgeous. That's so rare. Rare, like I was a find. Talia's gaze slid to Milo. And he's adorable, like totally brand friendly. My stomach turned. I wasn't stupid. I'd seen women like Celeste before. Not her exact kind, not with that level of polish, but the same core. Image first, control always, kindness as currency. I smiled anyway, because I've learned smiling can be armor. But inside, my body was already writing notes, logging tone, timing, words, patterns. After the gala, Adrian apologized in the car. He sounded tired, angry at himself. They're intense, he said, gripping the steering wheel. They don't mean... They mean it, I cut in softly. Silence filled the car, heavy as wet wool. He glanced at me. I don't want their world. I want... He swallowed. I want you. My heart lurched, stupid and hopeful, like it hadn't learned. Like it was still the version of me that believed in soft places. I looked out the window at passing streetlights and thought, wanting isn't the same as choosing. Then a week later, Adrian said the words that made my spine go tight. They want you to come to the estate this weekend, he said, trying to sound casual. A whole weekend, dinner, breakfast, the whole family thing. My hands went cold around my mug. Why? I asked, even though I already knew. So they can finally see you the way I see you, he said. His eyes were earnest, almost pleading. They'll come around. I know they will. My stomach gave a slow, sinking roll, like my body recognized the edge of something deep. The Hale estate. A weekend trapped inside their walls, inside their smiles, inside their questions. I heard Celeste's voice in my head. Legacy. I pictured Victor's eyes. Totals. I pictured Talia's phone. Angles. And I thought of Milo, asleep with his hand opening and closing in the dark, trusting me to keep the world from swallowing him. Adrian reached for my hand. Warm. Steady. Please, he whispered. Just, come. I stared at our fingers intertwined and felt that old instinct rise, bile and warning and the sharp, familiar taste of, be careful. And still, I nodded, because a part of me wanted to believe, because a part of me wanted to be wrong about people, and because deep down I didn't yet know they'd already decided I was something to prove. The driveway is a slow sentence with no punctuation. Wheels whisper over gravel, trees line up like witnesses. The estate rises at the end, stone and symmetry and money so quiet it doesn't need to prove itself. My stomach tightens the way it does right before an exam, right before a phone call, right before a door opens, and your life changes. Milo's hand is welded to mine, not just holding, gripping. His small fingers press into the side of my palm like he's leaving fingerprints on purpose, like he thinks if he anchors himself hard enough, I won't drift away. His thumb rubs the same spot over and over, his tell. He does it when something feels too big. Mom, he whispers, barely air. I'm here, I whisper back. My voice scrapes out of me like I'm dragging it past a knot. Adrian parks near a fountain that looks like it's never been turned off a day in its life. Water arcs and falls in a perfect loop. Even the splashing sounds expensive. A man in a dark suit appears before we even reach the steps. He doesn't introduce himself. He doesn't need to. He just opens the car door like we're expected, like we're part of a schedule. The air smells different here, trimmed hedges and stone that's been sun-warmed all day. It smells like a place where nothing spills unless someone allows it. Inside, the foyer is too bright, too clean. My footsteps sound wrong, like I'm wearing the wrong volume. Milo's sneakers squeak, and the sound slices through the silence. I feel heat crawl up my neck. Portraits line the walls. Not photographs. Portraits. Painted faces with calm eyes that look straight through me. Men in dark coats. Women with pearls. Children posed like they were born knowing how to behave. Every frame feels like a verdict. Milo leans closer. His shoulder presses into my hip. I keep my hand on his back, flat, grounding him. And myself. I can feel his heartbeat through his hoodie. Fast, small, insistent. Celeste appears at the top of the staircase like she's been waiting for a cue. Cream dress, hair perfect, smile practiced. Lena, she says, and my name lands like something she's trying out. Milo, welcome. Adrian reaches for my waist. His fingers hesitate, then settle. Warm, careful. I want to melt into it, and I also want to step away, because suddenly I'm aware of how watched we are. Staff move like shadows, quiet, efficient. Eyes lowered, but not blind. I can feel the whole house listening. Celeste leans down to Milo again. Same performance as the gala. Same controlled softness. Did you have a good drive, darling? Milo nods once, stiff. Celeste's smile doesn't flicker. How sweet. Adrian, we're having a light lunch on the terrace. I told the chef about Milo's situation. Like allergies are a character flaw. My throat tightens. He can't have peanuts or anything processed in peanut oil, and no pesto, pine nuts. We left the note with, Yes, Celeste says, waving it off like a fly. Of course, we'll be mindful. I don't like the way she says mindful, like it's optional, like it's a favor. The terrace is wide and bright and surrounded by manicured green that looks like it's never known drought. Plates are already set, everything already decided. Milo climbs into a chair that's too tall for him, legs swinging, and I feel a familiar surge of anxiety. Will he drop something? Will he stain something? Will he breathe wrong in the wrong place? I hate that this is what my brain does. I hate that I'm already bracing. Food arrives in delicate portions on heavy plates. Milo's is a small pasta dish with a pale sauce. I lean in, I smell it. My chest squeezes. Pesto has a smell, even when it's light, even when it's pretending. I freeze, the world narrowing to that greenish tint, that oily shine. Is there pesto in this? I ask, keeping my voice calm because Milo's eyes are on me and I refuse to scare him. Celeste blinks. Slow. Innocent. Oh, is there? I had no idea. No idea. My tongue tastes bitter. My pulse thumps in my wrists. I look to the staff member who set the plate down. Their face stays blank, but I see something. Fear, maybe. Or resignation. I push Milo's plate away gently. He'll have plain butter noodles and fruit. Please. Celeste's smile turns tighter at the corners. Of course, if that's what you need. If. My hands curl under the table. My nails press crescents into my palms. Adrian clears his throat. Mom. It's fine, Celeste says brightly. Lena is attentive. Attentive. Like I'm excessive. Like I'm being dramatic. Milo looks at me with wide eyes. Am I in trouble? My heart cracks a little. No, baby. Never. You're perfect. Celeste's gaze skims over us like we're a scene she doesn't fully approve of. Talia arrives late, of course. Sunglasses even though we're in shade. Phone already in her hand. She kisses Celeste's cheek like she's greeting a queen, then turns that glossy smile on me. Lena, oh my God, you look so real, she says. Real. I can't tell if it's a compliment or a cut. Maybe both. She crouches beside Milo, angling her phone slightly upward. And Milo, hi, can you say hi to my friends? Milo shrinks back, pressing into me. My body reacts before my brain does. My arm comes around him, protective, firm. Talia pouts. Ah, shy. That's okay, we'll work on it. Work on it, like my child is a project. Her phone screen flashes. She's recording anyway. I can see my own face in the reflection, tight smile, eyes too sharp. I feel exposed in a way that makes my skin itch. Adrian shifts uncomfortably. Talia, don't. It's cute, Celeste says. Let her share a little joy. She's building awareness for the foundation. Awareness. My stomach turns. I swallow hard. Later, when I go to the bathroom, I pass a hallway mirror and catch the glow of a phone screen in it. Talia standing behind a plant, filming me from the side like I'm wildlife. Her expression is excited, hungry. I walk faster, my cheeks hot. In the bathroom, I lock the door and stare at myself. My pupils look too big. My lips are pressed so hard they're pale. I grip the sink edge until my knuckles whiten. This is not your old life, I tell myself. This is not him. But my body doesn't believe words. My body believes patterns. At dinner, everything is even worse. The dining room is long and cool. Candles, crystal, chairs that look like they've never held a person who cried. Milo sits beside me, feet kicking gently under the table. I can feel him trying to be good. Too good. The kind of good kids get when they think love is conditional. Victor sits across from me, posture perfect, napkin in his lap like a weapon. He doesn't start with insults. He starts with questions. So, Lena, he says, swirling his wine as if he's stirring the air. Adrian tells me you've had a challenging few years. My mouth goes dry. I've worked hard. Victor nods like he's taking notes. And your current salary range? Adrian's fork pauses. His jaw tightens. I keep my face neutral. I'm comfortable. Victor's smile is thin. Comfortable is subjective. We like to be clear in this family, for planning purposes. Planning. The word lands wrong, like a leash. Celeste dabs her mouth with her napkin. Victor just wants to ensure Adrian isn't being burdened. Burdened? Milo's shoulders tense. He looks at his plate. I feel something hot and sharp rise in my chest, like a match struck behind my ribs. I take a slow breath through my nose. I pay my own bills, I say. And I take care of my son. Victor's gaze flicks to Milo. Speaking of, child support, custody, any legal complications we should be aware of? Should. Like they're entitled to my history. Like my pain is their paperwork. Adrian's eyes drop to his plate. He doesn't look at me. He doesn't look at them. He disappears into silence. It's small, but it's enough. The first crack. It runs through me like cold water down my spine. Celeste changes the subject with effortless grace. Lena, dear, have you considered doing something more meaningful with your time? My throat tightens. I'm raising a child. That's meaningful. Oh, of course, Celeste says, voice sweet as poisoned honey. I meant beyond survival. Beyond making ends meet. My cheeks burn. I hold my fork so tightly it trembles. Celeste leans forward, eyes shining with false warmth. The Hale Foundation is always looking for help. We could offer you a paid position, assistant work, simple, structured. It might be exactly what you need to get on your feet. Get on your feet. I'm on my feet. I've been on my feet for years, but the way she says it makes it sound like I'm crawling. I glance at Adrian. He finally looks up, briefly. His eyes meet mine for half a second, then slide away like they touch something too hot. He says nothing. My stomach drops again, smaller this time, like a warning bell echoing. I force a smile because Milo is watching. Always watching. That's generous, I say, and the words taste like blood. But I'm fine. Celeste's smile tightens. Pride can be expensive. Talia giggles softly like this is entertainment. Her phone is face down on the table, but I can feel it. Like a loaded camera, like a trap. Dinner moves on with that same polished cruelty. Little comments, little pauses. The way they speak around me instead of to me. The way they look at Milo like he's a stain they can't wipe off the tablecloth. Then it happens. A soft commotion. A murmured question from Celeste. A staff member's face paling. My bracelet, Celeste says, her voice calm but sharp. The one from my mother. It was on my wrist. Victor's eyes flick to my hands, to my sleeves, to my purse. My body goes cold. I don't move. I don't even breathe right. Staff begin to move quietly, too quietly, like they've rehearsed this, like they know their roles. Talia's eyes widen in exaggerated shock, hand flying to her mouth. Oh no, Celeste, that bracelet is like priceless. Priceless. Victor looks at me with polite suspicion. Perhaps it fell near the entry, or someone picked it up by mistake. By mistake. My mouth goes dry. My pulse thunders so loud I swear it's audible. Milo grips my arm under the table. I feel his nails through my sleeve. He whispers, Mom? I'm here, I whisper, barely sound. Minutes pass like hours. I keep my hands visible. I keep my face still. I keep my voice locked down. Then Talia stands. Her chair scrapes the floor, loud in the tense room. She glides to the code area, phone lifted like she's helping, like she's being useful. She bends and straightens with something glittering in her fingers. Oh my God, she breathes. Lena! My stomach drops so hard I taste bile. The bracelet dangles from her hand like bait, like proof, like a noose. I don't speak for a second, because if I do, I might make a sound I can't take back. Celeste rises slowly, every movement elegant. She approaches me, face arranged into concern. Lena, she says softly, as if she's offering mercy. Let's not make a scene. Scene. My skin prickles. My vision sharpens at the edges. Victor watches, pleased. Like this is the moment the numbers settle. Like the equation is finally balanced. Adrian sits frozen. His hands are clenched on the table. He won't look at me. He won't look at his mother. He looks at the space between his plate and his shame. Celeste leans closer, voice dropping so only I can hear. We can handle this privately, she murmurs. If you're honest. If you admit you're struggling. Temptation does things to people. Temptation. My jaw tightens so hard it aches. I look at Milo. His eyes are huge, wet, confused. He's breathing a little too fast. This is the line, my body says. This is where you either break or you become something else. My hands shake under the table, but I keep my face calm. I keep my voice low. I didn't take it, I say. Celeste's eyebrows lift, delicate disbelief. Lena. I didn't, I repeat, and my voice gains steel. Not loud, just unmovable. Talia tilts her head, acting hurt. Then how did it end up by your coat? By my coat. My lungs feel tight, the room feels smaller. The portraits feel like they're leaning in. I want to scream. I want to flip the table. I want to grab Milo and run so fast the gravel sprays behind us. But Milo is watching. So I swallow the rage until it burns the back of my throat. I don't know, I say. But I didn't take it. Celeste's smile returns, gentle and vicious. Of course. We'll talk after dinner. After dinner. Like she's scheduling my shame. Dinner ends with forced politeness. The bracelet is found, the incident resolved, but the air stays poisoned. I carry Milo upstairs, his arms around my neck, his cheek pressed to my shoulder like he's trying to hide inside me. In the guest room, I lay him down. He blinks sleepily, voice small. Did you steal it? The question hits me like a slap. Not because it's cruel, because it's innocent. My eyes burn. I smooth his hair back. No, baby. Never. He studies my face like he's memorizing truth. Then he nods, slow, and his eyelids flutter. When his breathing evens out, I stand in the dark and press my hand to my mouth so the sound I want to make doesn't come out. I leave the room quietly and walk down the hall, my bare feet silent on the carpet. I don't know what I'm looking for. An exit, a reason, a sign. I hear voices, low, male, coming from the study. I stop before the door, heart hammering. Victor's voice carries first, crisp and satisfied. If she signs the prenup, we own her. My stomach drops into my feet. Celeste hums softly, like agreement tastes good. And if she doesn't? A pause. Then Victor, colder. If she doesn't, we're done here. My skin goes ice cold. My pulse roars in my ears. Own her. The words repeat inside my skull like a chant. I press my fingers to the wall to stay upright, nails digging into the paint, my breath coming shallow. In the guest room behind me, Milo sleeps with his hand opening and closing in the dark. And down the hall, they're deciding whether my life is worth keeping, based on what they can take from it. The hallway outside the study smells like old books and lemon polish. My skin feels too tight, like it doesn't fit right anymore. Like the words I just heard, own her, have swollen inside me and there isn't room. I don't go back to the guest room right away. I stand there with my hands still pressed to the wall, fingers curled like claws, and I listen to my own breathing. Thin, controlled, unfamiliar. The kind of breathing you do when your body wants to run, but your brain is forcing it to stay quiet. A door clicks somewhere, soft footsteps, a murmur. I move before I think. Bare feet on carpet. No sound. My heart slamming so hard it makes me dizzy. Adrian's room is down the guest wing, past a set of framed photos. Adrian in a tiny suit at some ceremony. Adrian with Celeste's hand on his shoulder like a claim. Adrian beside Victor in front of a building with their name on it. Proof of belonging. Proof of ownership. Proof of everything I will never be to them. I stop at Adrian's door. My knuckles hover. For 1 second, I want to turn around. I want to scoop Milo up and leave before sunrise, before anyone can corner me again. I want to vanish the way I had to vanish from my marriage, carrying my life in bags, swallowing the shame like it's medicine. But my son is asleep in their house, and they use the word own. I knock once. Adrian opens the door quickly like he was waiting. His shirt is wrinkled, hair messed up, eyes tired. He looks relieved when he sees me. Relieved, and something in me snaps. Hot and sharp. Because relief doesn't belong on his face right now. "Lena," he whispers, glancing behind me as if the house might be eavesdropping. "Is Milo?" "Sleeping," I cut in. My voice comes out flat. Too calm. The calm before something breaks. He steps aside. I walk in. The room is big, of course. Thick curtains. A faint smell of cedar. The bed perfectly made, like no one's allowed to sweat here. Like grief isn't permitted on the sheets. Adrian closes the door softly. The click sounds like a lock. I turn to face him. My hands are clenched so hard my fingers ache. "Did you know they'd test me?" I ask. He blinks. "Test you?" The lie is immediate, reflexive, smooth. My stomach flips. Bile creeps up my throat. I take a step closer. "Don't." His jaw tightens. He exhales through his nose. "Lena, it's not." "Did you know?" I repeat, and this time it's quieter. Worse, like a blade sliding in slow. Adrian's gaze drops to the carpet. He rubs a hand over the back of his neck. "They're just protective," he says, finally. Protective. The word hits my ears and turns rancid in my mouth. I let out a sound that isn't quite a laugh. It's too bitter to be that. Protective doesn't look like a setup. He flinches, like the word hurts him too. I didn't want it to be like this. But it is, I say, and my voice shakes on the last word. He takes a step toward me. "Lena, no!" I snap, and the sound is small but violent. My hands tremble. I shove them into the pockets of my cardigan so he can't see. "You don't get to touch me right now." Adrian stops. His eyes shine with something. Guilt, panic, love, maybe all of it, maybe none of it. "They demanded proof you were safe," he admits, voice low. "Mom said, Victor said, they've been burned before, and with Milo involved." My chest tightens like a fist is closing around my ribs. "Safe," I echo. My tongue feels thick. "I'm a threat. I'm a risk. I'm a liability. Is that what you mean?" "No," he says quickly. "No, that's not what I mean. That's not what I think." "But you let them," I whisper. The room tilts, not physically, internally, like my mind is trying to find stable ground, and there isn't any. Adrian's eyes squeeze shut for a second. "I agreed to a family meeting about finances, just to calm them down." I stare at him. The words land one by one, heavy as stones. Family meeting. Finances. My throat closes. My hands go colder. "So the bracelet," I say, and my voice comes out too soft, almost curious. "That was part of calming them down?" Adrian's face drains. "I didn't know about that." I believe him. And that makes it worse. Because if he didn't know, then he has no idea what they're willing to do. And if he did know, then I'm already living in a lie. Either way, the floor moved. I swallow hard. My mouth tastes like metal. "Did you hear your uncle tonight?" Adrian's brows knit. "What?" I step closer until I'm right in front of him. Close enough to smell his soap. Familiar. Comforting. And suddenly unbearable. He said, if she signs the prenup, we own her. Adrian's eyes widen. His lips part. Nothing comes out. I watch his face. Shock, then something darker. Like recognition. Like he's heard versions of that sentence his whole life and just never applied it to someone he loves. My chest aches. I hate that I'm still searching his eyes for safety. "I'm not property," I say, and my voice cracks. I clear my throat, furious at my own weakness. "I'm not a deal." Adrian reaches for me, then stops himself, hands hovering like he's afraid to spook me. "Lena, I swear to you, I cut him off, sharp. "What did you tell them about me?" He blinks, startled. "What? What did you tell them?" I repeat, and now the words are coming faster, heated. "Did you tell them I'm broke? Did you tell them I'm desperate? Did you tell them I need help so they could hand me a little job like a leash and call it charity?" His throat bobs. "I told them you work admin. I told them you're independent." Independent. I feel my mouth twist. And they still see me as something to trap. Adrian's shoulders slump. He looks suddenly younger, like the weight of his family has always pressed him down, and I'm just now seeing the bruise. I thought if you met them, if they saw you, they'd stop, he says, voice rough. I thought they'd fall in love with you the way I did. I stare at him. The tenderness in his words makes my anger spike harder because it's so close to being beautiful. And beauty is dangerous. I shake my head slowly. I'm not a presentation, Adrian. He winces. I know. Do you? I whisper. Because you invited me into a house where my son is being watched like he's a stain, and you sat there while your mother talked about me like I'm a project. His eyes flash. I didn't sit there. You did, I say, and my voice is quieter than before, deadlier. You looked down, you disappeared. The silence swells between us, thick and choking. My phone buzzes in my pocket. The vibration feels like a tiny electric shock. I ignore it. Adrian's voice drops. Lena, please, I'm trying. I don't need you to try, I say. I need you to choose. His face twists. I am choosing you. Then why am I the one standing here bleeding while you stay comfortable? The question slips out before I can stop it. My throat burns. My eyes sting. Adrian's jaw works like he's chewing on a regret he can't swallow. Because I don't know how to fight them without losing everything. There it is. The sentence that tells the truth without meaning to. Lose everything. I picture the portraits, the estate, the staff moving silently, the fountain that never stops. Everything. My chest tightens. A sad, hollow laugh pushes up, and I swallow it down because it would turn into a sob. You're afraid of losing your money, I say. He flinches. It's not just money, it's your name, I finish. Your place, your mother's approval, the air you've always breathed. He looks stricken. I turn away because I can't watch his face beg me to understand while he's still choosing their comfort over my dignity. I walk to the window and stare out into darkness. The grounds are lit up by discreet lights along the path, making the trees look like they're on display. My reflection floats in the glass. Me, hair messy, eyes too bright. I look like a woman in a story someone else is telling. Behind me, Adrian speaks softly. I love you. The words hit my back like warm water. For a second, my body wants to lean into them. My body remembers his consistency, his hands washing dishes, his voice reading Milo a bedtime story, his patience. And then my mind flashes Milo's face at dinner. Mom, why do they look at us like we're dirty? The question is a knife. It slides in and stays. It doesn't matter how much Adrian loves me if the world he comes from makes my son feel dirty. I turn back slowly. Milo asked me something tonight. Adrian's brow furrows, fear blooming. What? My throat closes. I force the words out anyway, each one scraping. He asked, Mom, why do they look at us like we're dirty? Adrian's face goes pale. The room feels too quiet, like the house itself is listening. My eyes burn. I blink hard. Do you know what it does to a child, to think he's dirty just for existing? Adrian's mouth opens. No sound. I feel something settle inside me. Heavy, solid, resolve. I've spent years rebuilding myself around Milo's stability, around safety, around dignity. I will not let this family teach my son to shrink. I take a breath that hurts. I can walk away quietly, I say. Tonight, before your family gets their meeting, before they get their papers and their signatures and their little satisfied smiles. Adrian steps forward, desperate. Lena, please. I raise a hand. He stops. But, I continue, and my voice steadies. I can also stay long enough to make sure they never do this to anyone else. Adrian stares at me like he doesn't recognize me. Maybe he doesn't. Because the version of me who would have begged to be accepted died in that bathroom years ago, sitting on the edge of a tub with her credit ruined and her heart in her throat. The version of me standing here now documents, plans, protects. I don't tell him my real life. Not yet. I keep it folded inside me like a blade tucked into a boot. Not for violence, never that. For precision, for truth. I'm not the woman Celeste thinks she can buy with a paid assistant offer and a pity smile. I'm not the woman Victor thinks he can own with fine print. I'm not the woman Talia thinks she can package into content. I keep my voice low. You should go to sleep. Adrian's eyes glisten. Lena, what are you going to do? I look at him, and there's a strange calm in me now, like a storm moved through and left clarity behind. I'm going to pay attention, I say, because I already have been. Even at dinner, while Victor asked his planning questions, I'd felt the numbers in the air. Loose threads, tiny slips, the way he said certain expenses like he'd practiced them. The way Celeste's foundation talk got vague when I asked simple follow-ups. The way Talia's brand partnership somehow always aligned with charity vendors. Inflated, padded, soft places to hide things. I don't know the full shape yet, but I can feel it. Like a bruise under the skin. My phone buzzes again. I pull it out this time. Unknown sender. A message preview that makes my stomach drop, cold and clean. Encrypted. The kind of message you don't get unless someone trusts you, or warns you. I unlock the screen with a thumb that suddenly won't stop shaking. One line. Lena, Hale Foundation is on a watch list. Be careful. My mouth goes dry. My heartbeat stutters, then slams harder, like my body is trying to outrun the truth. Adrian watches my face change. What? Lena, what is it? I don't answer. I can't. Because the air in the room has shifted. Because this isn't just about me being judged anymore. This is bigger. And suddenly the trap they set for me feels like the smallest, stupidest part of something much darker. I stare at the message until the letters blur, my skin prickling, my mind racing. Be careful. I look up at Adrian, and for the first time all night, I don't see a man who can save me. I see a man standing inside a burning building, insisting it's just warm in here. And I realize I'm going to have to save myself. Again. Morning doesn't soften the estate. It just shows it in better lighting. Gray light slides through the curtains like a careful hand, touching nothing, leaving no fingerprints. I lie still for a minute with my eyes open, listening. No city noise. No neighbors arguing through thin walls. No sirens, just quiet. Expensive quiet. The kind that makes you hear your own thoughts too clearly. I check Milo first. He's curled on his side, mouth slightly open, one sock half off, lashes resting on his cheeks like he's innocent on purpose. His hand is still doing that little open-close thing in his sleep, like he's gripping a dream. My chest aches. I press my lips to his forehead and hold it there until my breath steadies. Then I become the version of me that survives. Step 1, stay composed. Not because I'm fine, because composure is a weapon they don't know how to disarm. If I cry, I'm weak. If I yell, I'm unstable. If I beg, I'm exactly what they already decided I am. So I don't. I wash my face in cold water until my skin stings. I braid my hair tight. I put on the simplest outfit I packed. Soft sweater, jeans, nothing that screams for approval. I look at my reflection and practice my neutral face. Not blank. Neutral. The face of a woman who is not asking permission to exist. Downstairs, the house is already awake in a way that feels coordinated. Staff glide, trays appear, the smell of coffee drifts like a lure. Celeste greets me in the breakfast room with her perfect smile and her perfect timing, as if she's been standing here for hours waiting for my entrance. Good morning, Lena, she says bright. How did you sleep? I feel the answer in my bones, like a bruise. Fine, I say. Milo climbs into his chair quietly. He doesn't ask for anything. He watches everyone like he's learning a new language. Rich, polite, dangerous. Celeste leans toward him. We have pancakes, darling. Milo looks at me first. Permission. Safety check. I nod. Pancakes are fine? Celeste's eyes flicker, almost annoyed, like she hates that he looks to me. Talia breezes in a moment later, hair flawless, phone already in her hand like an extra limb. She gives me a quick hug that doesn't touch her eyes. Morning, Mama, she chirps. I'm doing a cute little foundation segment today, like uplifting, human. Human. I keep my expression neutral. I sip coffee. I let her talk, because step 1 isn't just composure, it's letting them underestimate me. Talia sets her phone on a small tripod on the sideboard. I watch her angle it so it catches the room, but mostly catches me. Soft light, real woman, struggling mom, her narrative. She starts recording. Okay, guys, so today I'm with my amazing mom, Celeste Hale, and we're talking about how the foundation helps women get back on their feet. There it is again, back on their feet. I feel heat flare behind my ribs. I swallow it. Talia turns the camera toward me like she's offering me a gift. And this is Lena. She's such an inspiration. Like she's been through so much and she's still standing. My fingers tighten around my mug. I still standing. Like it's a miracle. Like I should be grateful for the floor. I smile slightly. Controlled. Morning. Talia pouts at my lack of performance, then keeps going anyway. She talks about community and support and second chances, and I watch Milo's shoulders inch up like he wants to disappear. The second the recording ends, I pull my phone out under the table and take a screenshot of her story preview. Time, date, caption. My thumb moves without hesitation. Step 2. Document. I don't feel dramatic doing it. I feel calm, familiar. This is what I learned in the fire. After breakfast, Celeste walks with me through the hallway like she's giving a tour, but the house is the point, not the rooms. Every framed photo is a reminder. Every corridor a subtle push. You don't belong here. She stops at a sunlit sitting room and gestures for me to sit. Milo's in the adjacent playroom with a staff member. So you can have adult conversation, Celeste had said, smiling like she was doing me a kindness. The door between the rooms is open, just enough for Milo to hear if voices rise. Clever. Celeste sits across from me, legs crossed perfectly, hands folded. She looks like a portrait that learned how to speak. I've been thinking about you, she says. I keep my face neutral. Have you? Her smile doesn't change. I admire women who persevere. Persevere, like I'm a charity case in a brochure. Celeste slides a folder across the coffee table. Another folder. Of course. My stomach tightens, but I don't show it. This is an offer, she says, a settlement of sorts, a way to ensure you and Milo are comfortable, regardless of how things progress with Adrian. The word settlement makes my skin crawl. I open the folder slowly. Inside, printed pages, clean font, numbers that look generous if you don't understand what they buy. Housing assistance, a temporary stipend, a private school recommendation. Not a scholarship, a recommendation, like Milo's future is something she can stamp and approve. And then, an agreement. Non-disclosure. My throat tightens. The paper feels too smooth under my fingers, like it's already been handled by people who don't sweat. Celeste's voice is soft. Sometimes love is not enough. Sometimes it's best to step away with dignity. Dignity. My jaw clenches. She's offering me hush money and calling it dignity. My stomach rolls, bitter. I glance toward the playroom. Milo is building something on the floor, focused, small hands busy. He looks up for a second and smiles when he sees me looking. Trusting. My chest squeezes. I turn back to Celeste. I keep my voice calm, almost curious. And if I don't step away, Celeste tilts her head, then things may become unpleasant. I nod slowly, as if considering, as if I'm the naive woman she wants me to be. I ask gently, is this what you do to every woman Adrian brings home? Her smile flickers, just a tremor. I don't know what you mean. I let my eyes lower to the paperwork again, as if intimidated by the words, as if I don't understand contracts, as if I've never had to fight for my own name. Would this be public? I ask, tapping the non-disclosure lightly. Or is it more for protecting the foundation? Protecting. Celeste's gaze sharpens. The foundation is not relevant. Of course, I murmur. I just wondered, because Talia posts so much about it. And the gala, who pays for the venue personally? The foundation or the family? I ask like it's innocent, like I'm just curious. Celeste's eyes narrow slightly, but Victor's voice cuts in from the doorway before she can answer. The foundation pays, he says, stepping in like he owns the air. The venue is a charitable expense. Perfectly standard. Too quick, too confident. It lands wrong in my body, the way a lie lands when you've heard enough of them. Smooth on the surface, sharp underneath. Victor walks in with a glass of water, then sets it down like punctuation. Celeste, are we handling this? Handling. I keep my face neutral. Inside, something cold clicks into place. I glance at Victor. So the venue is paid directly by the foundation? Yes, he says. And the vendors? I ask softly. Catering, lighting, decor? Victor's smile is thin. Of course. And they're chosen by who? I tilt my head, playing small. I only ask because Talia mentioned a vendor she loves. I wondered if she's involved. Talia's name makes Victor's eyes flicker for a fraction of a second. There. A crack. Celeste's voice turns sweet. Lena, darling, you don't need to concern yourself with that. Concern? Like I should stay in my assigned lane, grateful, silent, cheap. I nod. Right. I'm sorry. I take my phone out as if checking the time, and I start an audio note the moment I slide it back into my pocket. I don't record faces, I don't announce it. I just capture my own immediate recollection. Names, phrasing, the way Victor answered too fast. Step 2, again. After the settlement meeting, a woman approaches me in the hallway. She's older than me, hair pulled back, posture straight, not in the stiff way Celeste is stiff, but in the way someone becomes straight because they've carried weight for a long time. Her name tag reads Nadia. Her eyes meet mine for half a second, then flick to the staff nearby, then back. Miss Lena, she says quietly, polite. May I speak with you for a moment? My heart picks up. Not fear. Instinct. We stop near a window where sunlight falls on the floor in a clean rectangle. Nadia keeps her voice low, almost swallowed by the quiet of the house. They do this to every woman. My stomach drops. My fingers go cold. What? I whisper. Nadia's jaw tightens. The tests, the pressure, the humiliation that looks like concern. My throat goes dry. And Victor, she adds, and her eyes sharpen like she's choosing her words carefully. Victor is hiding something. The sentence sends a chill down my spine, clean and immediate. The message from last night echoes in my mind. Watch list. Be careful. I hold Nadia's gaze. Why are you telling me this? Nadia's expression softens for a second, just enough to show something human beneath her professionalism. Because your boy looked at me like he didn't understand why grown-ups are cruel. My chest tightens. And because, she continues quieter, you don't look like the kind of woman who will stay quiet. I swallow hard. Thank you. Nadia gives a small nod and walks away like nothing happened. Like she never risked anything. My hands tremble for a second after she's gone. I tuck them into my pockets until they stop. Then the trap tightens. It's not one thing. It's a series of small, coordinated squeezes. A letter appears on my bedside table when I return to the guest room. An official-looking job offer from the Hale Foundation, administrative assistant. Salary listed like it's generous. The paper's thick, the ink crisp, it's staged, a prop. Proof they can hold up later and say, see, she needed us. I take a photo of it with the timestamp and slip it back exactly where it was. Later, Adrian's friend at lunch, some polished man with a laugh too loud, jokes, So Lena, heard you've been ring shopping already. The words slap the room into stillness. I feel my cheeks heat, my stomach turns. I glance at Adrian, his face flushes with discomfort. He laughs awkwardly, too slow. He doesn't shut it down fast enough. Someone leaked that. Someone planted it. Talia smirks into her sparkling water, eyes down, like she's watching a show only she knows the ending to. I smile lightly. No, I say, calm. Milo's been shopping for dinosaur books, though. That's more our style. The conversation moves on, but the rumor hangs in the air like smoke. That afternoon, Celeste finds me alone, near the library, and says, almost kindly, Victor has scheduled a review meeting. A review? I echo. Her smile is bright. A formal one, just to put everything to rest, clear the air, the paperwork. It will be good for you. Good for you. My stomach goes cold, she continues, tone airy. It's called fraud review. The words make my pulse stumble. Fraud, the bracelet, the job offer, the settlement, the prenup, the rumors. They're building a narrative brick by brick, and now they're naming the wall. I nod slowly. I let my eyes widen just a touch. I let my shoulders curve inward, as if I'm intimidated. I don't know if I can handle something like that, I say. Celeste's unsat's eyes gleam with satisfaction. Of course you can. You'll have Adrian. I look toward Adrian across the room. He's in conversation with Victor, shoulders tight, jaw clenched. He catches my gaze and looks away too quickly. My chest aches. Step 3, buy time. That evening, when Celeste brings the prenup again, like a recurring nightmare dressed as paper, I take it and say politely, I'd like to review this with my attorney. The word attorney makes Celeste's smile freeze for half a second. Then it returns, even smoother. Of course. How responsible. Victor's eyes narrow. You have an attorney? I shrug lightly, as if embarrassed. I like to understand what I sign. Victor's smile turns sharp. Naturally. Inside, my mind is already moving. I can't do a full investigation from inside their house. I don't need to. I don't want to. I want clean, lawful, limited steps, public filings, anything handed directly to me, anything said to my face. That night, after Milo is asleep, I sit on the edge of the guest bed with my phone glowing in my hands. My spine feels like a wire pulled too tight. I open my contacts and scroll to a name I haven't tapped in months. Legal Aid Director. My thumb hovers. I think of Milo's question, dirty. I press call. My voice stays low, steady, as if I'm asking about scheduling, as if I'm not sitting in a lion's den with my heart pounding like a drum. I need a neutral financial auditor, I say quietly. Limited scope, public information, and I need it fast. A pause, then her voice, calm but sharp. Where are you, Lena? I swallow. With the Hales. Another pause. Then, okay, listen to me. Don't sign anything. Don't take cash. Don't agree verbally to anything. Keep everything. My throat tightens. I am. Send me what you have, she says, and I'll connect you with someone who does this clean. Clean. That word feels like oxygen. I end the call and email photos, job offer letter, settlement packet, prenup pages, screenshots of Talia's posts, notes from conversations. I keep it factual, no accusations, just documentation. My hands shake, but my brain is sharp, the way it gets when it's protecting something sacred. Milo. By midnight, a response comes back. Not a full report, just a preliminary note from the auditor after a quick look at publicly available filings and the documents I sent. Limited, cautious language, but enough to make my stomach drop. Flagged irregular reimbursements. Irregular. My pulse races, my skin prickles. The note continues. Pattern suggests reimbursements routed through a shell vendor. Vendor appears connected to influencer marketing contracts associated with Teat, Hale Media. Talia. The room tilts slightly, my breath catches. My mind flashes to Victor's two quick answers, Celeste's vagueness, Talia's glossy innocence, Nadia's warning. Victor is hiding something. I stare at the message until my eyes burn. Outside, the estate is quiet. The fountain probably still running, endlessly. Staff moving silently. Portraits watching. Inside me, something settles into cold clarity. They wanted to prove I was after money. But money is already leaking through their fingers, and I'm standing right here, holding the paper trail. The conference room is all glass and angles, like the building itself is designed to make secrets feel ashamed. Sunlight hits the table in a clean stripe. The chairs are too stiff. The air smells like printer toner and expensive hand soap. Even the silence feels professional. I sit with my spine straight and my hands folded, not because I'm calm, because if I let my body do what it wants, I'll shake. My pulse is a frantic animal under my skin, banging against bone. Across from me, Victor smiles, like he's already written the closing statement. Celeste says, that that sits beside him, posture soft, face arranged into concern, like she's wearing it. She looks at me the way you look at a candle you're about to blow out, sad, but certain. Talia sits on the other side with her hands clasped, eyes wide, lashes perfect, innocence packaged. Her phone is face down, but I can feel it in the room like a second heartbeat. Adrian is there too. He takes the seat nearest to me, but it doesn't feel like he chose me. It feels like he chose the position that would hurt him the least. His knee bounces once, then stills. His jaw is tight. He won't meet my eyes for more than a second, and I can't unsee it now. That he had chances to stop this. That he didn't. The glass walls reflect us back in fragments. Me, multiplied. Them, polished. The story they've been telling, ready to be signed. Celeste folds her hands. Lena, thank you for coming. We just want to make sure everything is transparent. Transparent, in a room built to display you. Victor slides a folder toward me. Thick, neat, heavy with paper that thinks it's proof. We've had some concerns, he says smoothly. Nothing personal, just due diligence. Due diligence. I feel a bitter laugh press against my throat. I swallow it until it burns. He opens the folder, turning pages like a man flipping through someone else's life. Incident 1, Victor says, voice crisp. The bracelet. Talia inhales sharply as if she's reliving trauma. Her hand flies to her chest in perfect timing. I want to applaud. I don't. Victor continues. Incident 2, the employment offer from the Hale Foundation, which you did not disclose you received. My stomach twists. The letter they planted, the letter they placed in my room like bait. Incident 3, Victor says, eyes glinting. Text messages. Selective, yes, but telling. He slides printed screenshots toward me, cropped, highlighted, stripped of context. A version of my words that makes me look hungry, needy, calculating. My skin prickles. Then the prenup. Celeste pushes it forward gently like she's offering me a tissue. "This is an opportunity," she says softly, "to prove your intentions, to protect Adrian, to protect Milo too." My son's name in her mouth makes something savage flare in my chest. I clamp down hard. Protect Milo, with clauses that erase him. I look at Adrian. His gaze is fixed on the table, like the wood grain is more bearable than my face. "Adrian," Celeste says, sweet. Tell her how simple this can be." Adrian's throat moves. He whispers, "Lena, just sign it, please." The words hit me dead center, like a fist pressing into a bruise. My ears ring, my hands go cold. For a second, I feel myself tipping, back into the old life. The old panic, the old urge to make things smooth by making myself smaller. Then Milo flashes in my mind. His face. His question. Dirty. My spine straightens. I reach into my bag slowly. No shaking. No drama. I pull out my own folder. Victor's smile twitches. Barely. "What's that?" I set it on the table with care. The sound is small, but in this room, it lands like a gavel. My voice comes out quiet. Now it's my turn to ask questions. Celeste's eyes narrow a fraction. "Lena." I hold up a finger, polite, firm. "One at a time." Victor's smile tightens. "Go ahead." I open my folder. First page, screenshots of Talia's story drafts. Not the posted ones. The drafts. Nadia had told me where to look, an estate tablet synced to Talia's account. Left charging in the lounge like no one would ever question it. The cache held what Talia thought was invisible. Captions, edits, revisions. I slide the printouts across the table. Talia's face drains, almost imperceptibly, the way color leaves a painting when the lights go out. One caption reads, "Helping a single mom find her footing. Hale Foundation makes miracles." Miracles. Another draft, dated before I even arrived, mentions the bracelet moment, like it was already planned, already staged. The timestamp sits there in plain font, unblinking. I tap it once with my nail. "Explain this," I say softly. Talia's mouth opens, closes. She looks at Celeste like a child caught stealing candy. Celeste's smile falters. Those could be." "Drafts don't time travel," I say, still calm. My heart is pounding hard enough to make me lightheaded, but my voice stays steady. "Unless someone planned it." Victor's eyes flick to the papers, then to Talia, then back to me. The first crack appears on his face. Annoyance, calculation. He leans forward. "Even if those drafts exist, they prove nothing about your financial intentions." I nod once. "Okay." Second page. The job offer letter, photographed the moment I found it. Timestamp, the exact placement. The fact that it appeared in my room after Celeste's first get on your feet speech. My notes, the sequence, then my audio notes transcribed. Times, locations, witnesses. I don't claim they're court evidence. I don't need to. I just need to show a pattern so clear it becomes embarrassing to deny. I slide that page forward too. Victor's smile thins. Celeste's eyes turn sharp. Adrian finally looks at me. His eyes widen slightly, like he's seeing the part of me he never bothered to ask about. The part that survives. The part that documents. "Still," Victor says, voice clipped, "none of this addresses the main issue, the prenup." I tilt my head. "We'll get there." Third page, the reimbursement trail, public filings, vendor names, dates, amounts, then receipts that came in the foundation packets Celeste herself gave me because she assumed I was too ignorant to read them. The same vendor appears again and again, always just under a threshold that would require deeper approval. Always routed through events and community outreach. Always aligned with a brand deal tied to Talia's media company. My stomach twists as I speak. Not from fear, disgust, the kind that makes your skin crawl because you realize the people judging you are dirty in ways they'll never admit. I slide the page across to Victor. His eyes scan it fast. Too fast. The way a man reads something that could ruin him. He looks up, and the first real emotion breaks through his polish. Anger. "Where did you get this?" he snaps. I keep my voice even. "From public records, and from the documents your family provided me." Victor's jaw flexes. Celeste's face goes still, too still. Talia's fingers tremble on her water glass. Adrian whispers, "Lena?" His voice sounds like awe and regret got tangled together. I look at him just once. "Don't." He shuts his mouth. I pull out the last page. A letter on official letterhead. A respected legal aid organization. Verification of my role, my credentials. No client names, no sensitive details, just legitimacy. I hold it up for a second before placing it on the table. "I'm not an assistant," I say quietly. "I'm a compliance consultant. I help organizations find what they hide in plain sight." Victor's eyes harden. Celeste's lips part slightly. "And," I continue, voice low, "I've been quietly retained by a legal aid network to help women recover from financial abuse." The words taste like iron and truth. "I keep my work confidential," I add, "because I protect people, including my son." The room is silent. The glass walls make the silence feel louder, like it's echoing off the building. Then the door opens. A stranger steps in, sharp suit, tablet in hand, expression neutral but alert. Not Hale family, not staff. He says my full name like he knows it, and then he looks at Victor. "There's been a flag," he says calmly, "from a neutral auditor regarding irregular reimbursements connected to the foundation." Victor's face goes rigid. Celeste's smile breaks, not in a dramatic way. Worse, in a quiet way, like a mask slipping. "Who are you?" Celeste demands, but her voice wobbles just enough to betray fear. The man doesn't blink. "Board liaison, risk oversight." He glances at the papers on the table. I also recognize her. His eyes meet mine. "She's the one who saved our company last year," he says, as if stating a fact everyone should have known. My stomach drops, because it means I'm not invisible here. I never was. Victor's mouth opens, then shuts. His hands curl into fists. The liaison's voice stays calm. "Victor Hale, pending review, you are placed on leave, effective immediately." The words fall into the room like a stone into deep water. Celeste's face tightens. "This is outrageous." But her voice doesn't have power now. Not with an outsider watching. Not with her peers listening through titles and procedures. This is the only audience she fears, and she's losing them. Talia's eyes flash to Victor, then to Celeste, then to me. For the first time, her innocence looks like what it is. Panic. Adrian stands abruptly, chair scraping. The sound makes everyone flinch. "I let them do this," he says, voice hoarse. He looks at the liaison, then Victor, then his mother. "I let them run the test. I thought it would go away. I thought it would keep the peace." Peace. I feel my chest tighten with something sharp and sad. He turns to me fully, eyes glassy. I'm sorry to you. And I'm sorry to Milo." My throat closes. Milo's name in Adrian's mouth almost breaks me. Almost. But the line inside me is clear now, bright as a blade. I stand slowly. "Love cannot live where dignity is negotiable," I say, and my voice is steady enough to surprise even me. Celeste's face twists. "You're throwing away everything." I cut her off, gentle. "No." I pick up my folder. I slide it back into my bag. "I'm taking my name back," I say. I look at Victor. "You tried to own me with paper." I look at Talia. "You tried to package me." I look at Celeste. "You tried to buy my silence and call it help." My hands don't shake. My voice doesn't rise. That's the part that makes Celeste's eyes widen, because she was ready for tears, for screaming, for begging. She wasn't ready for refusal. I walk out. The hallway feels different on the way back. Still quiet, still expensive, but the portraits don't scare me anymore. They're just paint, just history, just dead people with good posture. In the guest room, Milo is already awake, sitting on the bed with his dinosaur book open, hair sticking up like a little crown of chaos. He looks up at me, uncertain. "Mom, are we leaving?" My chest aches. I kneel and smooth his hair. "Yes, baby, we're going home." He exhales like he's been holding his breath all weekend. He nods once, brave. We pack fast, not frantic, just decisive. On the drive out, the estate gates open like they're relieved to let us go. And as the gravel crunches under the tires, I feel something in me unclench. Slow, painful, real. Days later, after the world has had time to rearrange itself, there's a knock at my apartment door. No staff, no escort, no flowers, no grand speech. Just Adrian. He looks different. Smaller somehow. Like the money armor cracked and he doesn't know what to wear instead. He holds a plain envelope in both hands like it weighs more than it should. His eyes meet mine, and for once, he doesn't look away. I should have given you this sooner, he says quietly. No excuses. Just the envelope. Just the truth he hid. My fingers curl around the edge of the door. My pulse stutters, and I realize the next test isn't his family's, it's mine. The worst betrayal wasn't the bracelet, or the papers, or the way Celeste said my son's name like it was a problem to solve. It was the silence. The way air can turn heavy in a room when everyone has decided what you are, and the person you love just lets it happen. No shouting, no slamming doors, just polite quiet while you're being measured like a price tag. That kind of cruelty wears perfume. On the ride home, Milo watched the passing streetlights like they were counting down something. He was quiet for a long time, then he whispered, "Did we do something wrong?" My throat closed so fast it hurt. I kept my eyes on the road because if I looked at him, I would have cried. And I needed my voice steady more than I needed my pride. "No," I told him. "Some people confuse wealth with worth. We don't." He sat with that, small shoulders relaxing by millimeters, like his body finally believed it was allowed to take up space. And I realized something ugly and clean at the same time. Tests reveal the tester. They wanted proof I wasn't after money, and all they proved was how desperately they needed it. Needed control, needed leverage, needed to feel taller by making someone else kneel. As for Adrian, some nights I imagine him cutting the cords for real, drawing lines so hard they sting, getting help, learning how to say no without shaking. Therapy, boundaries, a life built on choices instead of inheritance. Other nights I imagine the opposite, and in that version I still choose peace. Because love cannot live where dignity is negotiable. Not for me, not for Milo. The envelope is still in my mind, like a weight in my palm. Plain paper, heavy truth. A question with teeth. If you want part 2, what was inside Adrian's envelope, comment, "Open it." And if you've ever been underestimated, subscribe and stay with me. There are more stories coming every week.